For Poland Daily News, I'm Phil Goss. Poland has moved closer to ratifying legislation essential to the European Union COVID-19 recovery after the ruling Law and Justice Party struck a deal with the Left Party. With the additional votes of Left Party MPs, recovery plan ratification will occur in an upcoming vote in Parliament. Work necessary for the ratification of the National Reconstruction Plan Recovery Fund is nearing its conclusion. We have held several dozen consultations on the National Reconstruction Plan with all political factions that have approached us with a desire to discuss the issue. We've organized panel discussions and public hearings. MPs are expected to approve the measure in a vote to be held next week. Whether it will be implemented or not is in the hands of the Polish parliamentarians. Whether the 770 billion zloty will flow to Poland depends on whether Polish Parliament adopts the National Recovery Plan. The decision by the Left Party to work out a deal with the ruling Law and Justice Party has angered politicians from the largest opposition faction, Civic Coalition, as well as activists from the women's strike movement. The Left Party made a deal with the Law and Justice Party and declared its support, so it doesn't matter any longer how other caucuses will vote because there is a majority. Regarding the Left Party, we have a short announcement. Do it or don't do it. You have 24 hours to man up, or we will start a nationwide campaign to knock the stupidity out of the left. The mafia won't stop being gangsters just because the Left Party politely votes with them. This is money for Polish men and women, and I think that these voices come from conflicting emotions, but in time they will die down once we see how these funds are actually invested in Poland. The Polish press agency has reported that anonymous official sources have confirmed a parliamentary vote on the National Reconstruction Plan on May 4th. An online campaign against Poland has started in Russia after a Polish official was forced to intervene to remove a Russian flag during a game of checkers at the Women's World Checkers Championship in Warsaw. The measure was perceived in Russia as an example of alleged Polish Russophobia, but few Russian sources have reported that the flag had to be removed on the orders of the World Anti-Doping Agency in connection with the sanctions it has imposed on Russian sports competitors as a result of numerous state-organized doping scandals. The participant, Tamara Tancakuzhnia, has been playing under the Russian flag for the whole tournament in violation of World Anti-Doping Agency sanctions on Russian sports competitors. The agency called organizers of the championship demanding they remove the flag immediately or face further sanctions. One official rushed to the table while the match was in progress to take the flag. Jacek Pawlicki, the official who removed the flag, said he apologized to Tancakuzhnia but feels he had little choice. There is this position on the board in the game of checkers called zugzwang, which means there's no good move to make. Whatever move you make, it will be wrong. And that's what we had yesterday, a zugzwang. Russian social media users fumed at the incident some said pointed to discrimination against their country. Pawlicki insisted that it was not his intention to harm Tancakuzhnia. I'm sure that many Russians are upset about what happened. It was not pleasant. This gaffe yesterday, the flag being removed under the spotlight of cameras, it was not nice, but we meant no harm. I understand that many Russians are upset, and for that I am truly sorry. We never had any bad intentions. The move also drew outrage from Russian officials, with the president of Russia's Olympic Committee calling it a gross mistake, while Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov blamed Tancakuzhnia's loss on the incident. Russia has reacted furiously against Bulgaria's decision to launch an investigation into the suspected involvement of Russia's GRU military intelligence agency in explosions at Bulgarian arms depots over the last decade and the poisoning attempt against a Bulgarian arms dealer. The prosecutors believe that the events are linked to similar attacks in the Czech Republic. Bulgarian prosecutors said they are collecting evidence on the possible involvement of 6 Russians in 4 explosions between 2011 and 2020 at Bulgarian arms depots that were storing munitions for export to Ukraine and Georgia. A spokeswoman said prosecutors could reasonably assume links between the blasts in Bulgaria and munitions depot explosions in Czech Republic in 2014. During the investigation, it was established that 6 Russian citizens were in Bulgaria around the dates of the explosions and those around the murder attempts of arms trader Emilian Gebrev. The collected evidence points so far, with a great degree of credibility, to the conclusion that the aim of the actions of the Russian citizens was to stop the supplies of munitions to Georgia and Ukraine. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov dismissed the Bulgarian investigation at a news conference on Wednesday. The time frame itself, the last 10 years, shows that either the Bulgarian side knew nothing, and only now, after the Czech Republic announced the 2014 incident, decided to outshine the Czechs and look further back into history, or they knew about it all this time but did not make it public for some reason. Lavrov also attempted to place responsibility on the EU, the Czech Republic, and Bulgaria for the crisis in relations with Russia. The European Union has to take care of the situation in the Czech Republic and Bulgaria, a situation where some private entrepreneurs are involved in the arms trade, and the European Union has to answer our question about how much the European Union is in control of the implementation of its members' obligations in the arms trade. Prague has accused Russian spies of being behind the 2014 blasts. Moscow has rejected the Czech allegations as absurd, and both sides have expelled diplomats and embassy staff. 7 far-left Italian terrorists, on the run for decades since their convictions in Italy on terrorism charges linked to communist militant groups, have been arrested in France, officials in Paris and Rome announced. The news is viewed as a sign of closer relations between France and Italy in the wake of Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi assuming office. Italy has long sought the extradition of dozens of leftist militants who were given refuge in France on condition they renounce violence, following the so-called Years of Lead, which left hundreds dead from the late 1960s to the 1980s. Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi, who took office in February and has established a close working relationship with Macron, welcomed the French action.
Le président de la République, depuis le début de la mandature,
since the beginning of his mandate, the president has had close ties with our Italian friends who wish to finally try these terrorists. This morning, after the Chancellery forwarded requests for extradition from Italy to the Paris court, arrests were made. 3 Red Brigade members, it seems, are on the run and have not been found. It's now the legal system that's on the reins and will be in charge of the next part of these procedures. Among those captured was Giorgio Pietrostefani, a co-founder of the Lotta Continua, or Continuous Struggle Group, who was sentenced to 22 years in prison for his role in the 1972 murder of Milan Police Commissioner Luigi Calabresi. Between 1969 and 1980, this period, called Years of Lead in Italy, there were 362 people who were killed by these terrorists. 4,490 people were injured, some very seriously. I also want to tell you that I am proud to participate in these decisions, which I hope will allow Italy, after 40 years, to turn a page of its history that is stained with blood. The other 6 were all members of the Red Brigades, who were all sentenced to life in prison for taking part in various murders and kidnappings. A search is underway for 3 other Italians, Macron's office said, adding that Rome had originally put forward the names of 200 wanted individuals. For Poland Daily News, I'm Phil Goss. Good night.